Hi, Lyra.
Hi, Anthony.
How's it?
Good, and you?
Good. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. It's been a while.
It's been forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, about myself.
Yes.
Professionally, obviously, hey?
Yeah, you can start with the background because we want, whoever, let's say a kid is in a village or is in a township to understand that it's possible for them also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Currently I'm a mother, I'm a wife.
Wow, congratulations.
I'm an equity trader. I was born and bred in Taung in Northwest.
Yeah.
And moved to Pretoria for Varsity. I studied economics, continued with honors at UNISA, later actually in my life when I was already in the industry, in stockbroking. That's basically it. That's me.
Can you tell us a little bit about a life in Taung?
Well, a life in Taung is how can I put it? Very, very different.
What do you mean different?
Very different in a good and a bad way, I guess. Well, I'll start with the good.
Yeah.
Growing up in Taung, it's in the villages. There's a sense of community, compared to suburbs where you can, live for like a year without seeing your neighbor.
In isolation.
You know how it's like this. Growing up in the villages, there's a sense of community. There's you grow up with elders, and you always have a mother. In your neighbors, you have a father. There's always father figure, mother figure. So it's a, how it's like.
Yeah.
So the bad part of it is that there's not a lot of exposure. When you're in Northwest in Taung, because it's a remote village. So, courses like careers like equity trading, you wouldn't really know about that.
Yeah.
So you're most likely to know about accounting, attorney, being a doctor, and
being a teacher.
So there isn't a lot of exposure, which is what I'm trying to change with my siblings and my younger cousins.
Wow,
and whatnot.
That's beautiful.
So I try to tell them a lot about what's happening out there. And the good thing now, there's Instagram, there's TikTok, the kids are exposed at home. Compared to when we were growing up. So when we were growing up, there was only, SABC. You would see kids presenting on the TV, and you wouldn't really know how it got there, and. But with the young kids that are growing up now in the villages, it's quite different.
That's beautiful. Can you tell us a bit about equity trading? What's equity trading?
So equity trading basically is buying a share of a company.
Yeah.
So when you're an equity trader, I'm not sure if I'm being too forward. Maybe the question is still on the lineup.
Yeah, it is still there.
Let me just cover everything.
Yeah.
So basically, when you're an equity trader, what you do on a daily basis, you trade equities on behalf of individual clients like yourselves and institutions. So institutions will be, your bigger institutions. You know them. I don't want to name drop.
Yeah.
So you would trade for those, right? Currently, I'm trading for institutional clients.
Yeah.
But another trader would trade for private clients. So it just depends where you are and what you want to do.
Yeah.
So when you're an institutional trader, so your pension funds, the amount that you contribute, rather.
Yeah.
The amount that you contribute to your pension, to your retirement, that's the money that we get to trade. But you don't see all of that. You wouldn't know about all of that, but it does come to us,
So does this mean there's a risk with me putting money in pension fund?
Yes, there is a little bit of risk.
Yeah.
But it's there because you need your money to grow, right?
Yeah.
Risk means growth, basically. So it depends also on your age. The younger you are, the more risk exposure your fund will be exposed to, you know.
Yeah.
So when you're in your 30s, you're most likely to have a bigger portion compared to someone, a bigger portion of risk compared to someone who's in their 50s or 60s.
Yeah.
Well, about to retire rather. So yeah, that's what we do. You contribute, say, to an RA or a pension fund with the company that you work for, and they come to us and say, you know what, we want to trade with you. They can't trade directly with the JSE, so they have to come through a stockbroker.
Okay.
So they give us instruction. You know what, guys, I've got 1 million, whatever, Nespas to buy.
Yeah.
Million worth as in the rent
Yeah.
of Nespas to buy, and they can say you've got 10k Nespas to buy, and I execute on their behalf. So you've got shares that are listed on the stock exchange.
Yeah.
So you've got shares that are favored and shares that are, well, the favored shares, the popular shares, you know them, your MTNs, your Vodacom.
Yeah.
And then you've got the ones that less, how do I put it, less volatile, like your mid caps, which is like the likes of your 40 rand stocks, your 10 rand stocks, and then you've got Nespas, which is trading above
So
1,000.
what I want to know is, I'm a kid sitting at a Gasi or a village, I'm watching this, and I'm thinking to myself, you must be like very intelligent to do something like that, right? What would you say to me?
No, I don't think it's about intelligence. I think it has a lot to do with discipline.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think you can achieve a lot with discipline and determination, you know?
Yeah.
That was the younger me. I knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just didn't know that this career exists, you know, until I was in Varsity and I heard about this, this thing called stockbroking, and I applied. And it's about taking risks. It's about being determined, seeing the vision, and knowing where you want to be.
I want you to put the word determined and disciplined in a context. Like, can you maybe give us a scenario of?
So basically, being determined, in my view, is having goals, measuring them, and making sure, obviously, that they happen. So a kid who is probably in high school and they want to see themselves in finance or stockbroking, whatever it is. So your way of showing determination is to reach out to people who are already in the sector. People like me. If you don't know about people like me, obviously, you check, you read it. You have to do your research. You have to read a lot. Prospectus, go through university prospectus. If say you're interested in finance, become finance. Find out what careers can you do with that qualification. I think that's the best way to go about
to find
it.
out,
So it's all about your drive. Basically, that's determination. Measuring your goals, making sure that you are on the right track, doing the work, doing the research. Reaching out to the right people, making all those uncomfortable calls, uncomfortable conversations, and
awesome.
So, wanting to do it.
Tell us about your journey from high school to varsity and then to eventually getting a job.
So I was in Northwest, in Taung, in this remote village. Obviously, I wanted to get out of that and do something with my life, obviously. So what I did, I researched. That was the first thing. So I knew I always wanted to be in finance, economics, and that's why I went for the commerce stream. So I had to choose between commerce and science. So I went for the commercial one, the commercial subject.
Was it because you were good with commerce, or it was just preference?
I was good with that. So that's so the subjects there will be your economics, accounting, mathematics, which is very important, and English. But even if you don't go for the commercial subjects, it's never too late. When you get to varsity, you can always do BCom in economics with mathematics and English. So that's the the stream that I followed, commercial subjects. Yeah, you know, it's the subject that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
I also got an award when I was in matric, like the district award for economics. You know, so yeah, I think I always had it in me. You know, to be. I was more inclined to the commercial subject than the science and whatnot. Yeah. So yeah, and then that also obviously, I mean the award gave me the, you know, the drive to continue and know exactly where God wants me.
Yeah.
You know, so I didn't have any doubts about it. Okay. I went straight into it. So yeah, so I went to, what did I do? I applied to a couple of universities. So I applied to UJ and TUT. Yeah. So funding was also a problem, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to go to UJ, but well, the fees were way above TUT. So I ended up settling for TUT. Yeah, I got funding. There's also NSFAS.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the varsity funding concept? Do you feel like if somebody doesn't have money and it wants to pursue their career, should they take debts to be able to do that to school?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I wouldn't be where I am without NSFAS, you know.
Yes.
So I think you need to make sure that you actually, like I said, it's all about determining. Make sure that you've got the funds to get you to the destination. Obviously, I had to travel from town to Pretoria, you know, and also fees I needed money to also just be comfortable and, you know, and whatnot. You know how it's like in varsity, get comfortable, get the funding in the meantime while you're waiting for the approval, right? Yeah. So, that's very important. If you need funding for that, you do need funding, approach the people, you know, approach the right people, look for bursaries and
awesome.
And make sure that you get to the destination and do everything that is needed.
Yeah. So we do want to tell that child that it's possible for you. Maybe you don't come from a rich background, or at home they don't have money to send you to varsity, but you can still go there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I'm very actually glad our government has that kind of funding because I mean it helped a lot of people. Yeah. You know. Yeah. So. Yes.
Yeah, from the NSFAS, take us from NSFAS. You're waiting for the application to be approved, and.
Yeah, so I applied while waiting for the application to happen. I told my parents this is what I want to do. They approved it. Came to obviously, Pretoria. TUT's in Pretoria. Yeah. Enrolled. But also there's with NSFAS also there's this. I don't know. So it's either they give 100% funding or a portion of it. Yeah. Just depending on the application that you submitted, whether one of your parents works or whatnot. No. Yeah. So first year I didn't get 100%, which was disappointing because my dad had to come through and and pay the rest of the amount.
How did your parents feel with the separation? You've always been around them, and all of a sudden you have to go to a faraway place. How did they feel about that? Did they ever share?
Yeah, one thing about my parents, which I'm very grateful for, they've always allowed us to be ourselves, and they've given us our independence. Yeah. Although my mom didn't really want me to go to Cape Town, actually the Western Cape, because I applied at. Also, I applied to a couple of universities in Cape Town, but she didn't want me to. Yeah. But then, so I mean, Taun to Gauteng, that's quite a distance. Yeah, but eventually, they just allowed me to go out there and make my own life.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome.
So they've never really been like clingy parents and.
Okay. Because I would be worried if. My child was always around, and all of a sudden they have to move out of the place and go to a place that I can't even see.
Yeah, I understand. As a parent, you would be, but then, same time, well, you need to also allow your kids to spread their wings.
That's true. That's true. So on the application side, you didn't get the whole 100% on the first year, and your dad had to come through. Can you take it from there?
Yeah, so with NSFAS, if one of the parents, so I don't know, they use some kind of calculation.
Yeah.
You need obviously to be honest and submit the right documents. Otherwise, it might just jeopardize your chance of continuing with the funding later, so you have to be honest and tell them if, you're depending on one of your parents is working. Tell them about that. Be honest about it. Unfortunately, people are not honest. Right?
Yeah.
If you are staying with pensioners and you're depending on them, obviously they will give you 100% funding.
Yeah.
I did that. I couldn't lie about that, obviously. The information is there. My dad obviously is registered with government and. So he had to, they had to pay for the balance.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lot though, but obviously, right now it's not a lot. But back then it was a lot.
Yeah.
So they had to come through and pay. And it wasn't really, because at the same time my dad was also pursuing his studies, was doing his honors as well.
What course did you take when you were going to Varsity?
So it was a National Diploma in Economic Management Sciences.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And later, so that was 3 years. After the 3-year period, I enrolled for BTech, which is like degree from technical universities. And that was 12 months. So before the 12 month ended, I also got a job at school. I don't know if you remember at the information systems. That also helped a lot, because I could pay for my fees actually for the year.
That's
so NSFAS only covers the undergrad. Okay, well, I guess BTech is undergrad, but the first 3 years national diploma. So they covered me for that, but the BTech they don't cover. For whatever reason. BTech, I guess.
How did you get the job at school?
They advertised and I just applied and I went for the interview and they're like, come through.
How did it feel to get your first pay?
It was so amazing. And at the time, so I was earning 4,000. At the time, it was a lot of money. So that was 2012. So it helped me a lot. I managed to buy myself a fridge.
Wow.
I upgraded from a smaller fridge to like a bigger fridge, and it helped me because I used the fridge in my first job. So after the program ended, so that was 2012, and then 2013 I got a job. Right. I got a job in the stockbroking industry.
Beautiful.
So that's how I started.
So did you apply? What was the sequence of,
So I saw this advertisement also with this company. So stockbroking, I applied. And
did you know what that was at the time?
I kind of had an idea. So in your BTech, obviously you do research, right? So in the final year, my research was actually about shares. See how the universe works. So it was about shares, and I knew what I was doing, but I just didn't know that everything will just connect so nicely. So when I got to the interview, I obviously presented about my research. I told them about it. They were quite impressed, and they're like, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, we liked you." So also one interesting thing, they were actually recruiting from previously disadvantaged backgrounds.
Wow.
So it was the first, actually we were the first on the program, and the program is still continuing.
Wow.
So it's Eiye Securities, that's the name of the company. It's Eiye Securities. So if you are interested in stockbroking, check out their website. Actually, it's called Pereseg now. It was Eiye, now it's Pereseg.
Okay. Great.
check it out. They've got this grad program, so a lot of them do. But it's the one that introduced me to stockbroking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were the first on the program, 2 of us. Yeah, it was an introduction to the industry. It was quite nice.
Beautiful. So from Eiye Securities.
So from also one thing that I need to mention, in order for you to get in to become to eventually trade shares on the stock exchange, you need to write. Obviously, you need your degree, right?
Yeah.
Which is very important.
Standard.
Yeah, and you need your regulatory exams. And those will be with SAIFM. So that's when you are in stockbroking. When you are in asset management, there's also regulatory exams for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Well, I might be wrong. Yeah, but in stockbroking, you need your regulatory exams, equity exams, ethics in financial markets. So there are regulatory exams that you need to write before you can actually start trading. Yeah.
Yeah, so from Eiye Security, I know that you did a gig on radio. Mm-hmm. Yeah, can you maybe tell us how you got into that?
Okay, so this was a way for me to give back,
Okay.
So I was like, you know what, I think based on my background, a lot of people in Dawu Northwest don't know a lot about stockbroking, stocks and whatnot, So I'm like, you know what, let me just, reach out and see if I can give back to Northwest, and I approached one of the presenters, Motsweding FM, and then it's like, sure, we can do this, and then the guy gave the producer my contact details, and that's how it all started.
Wow!
So it was just a way for me to
make sure that people are informed. Yeah. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us about a career in stock trading. What do you do on a daily basis? Mm-hmm. What do you do actually?
Okay, so on a daily basis, well, we have morning meetings every day.
Yeah.
So morning meetings are basically
that's like stand-ups.
To recap. Yeah, it's standard recap on what's happening in financial markets. Remember, when we wake up, the stock exchange in Asia is already open. Yeah. So by the time we wake up in South Africa, there's already a lot of activity happening in financial markets.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you get to work, you need to recap on all of this before the JSE opens at 9 o'clock. Yeah. So by the time the JSE opens, we are all aware what could possibly happen during the day. Yeah. Or at the open. You know. So that's why the morning meeting is there.
Okay.
So basically that's it. So we start our day with morning meeting recap on what's happening currently, economics, financial markets.
So you always have to be updated, be clued up. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So US closes at 10 when we're about to sleep. Yeah. When we wake up, Asia is open.
How do you get the information from the other stock exchanges?
So there's actually a website called investing.com. Yeah. Investing.com, something like that. Yeah. Okay. You can, well, if you are not in the industry, because there's a couple of things that we get information from. Yeah. But if you are not yet in and you want to get in and know what's happening in the industry, investing.com is one to start with. It's reliable news, very, very reliable. Yeah. We use that sometimes, but not all the time. So with us, we use there's Bloomberg. I don't know if you know about that. So we use Bloomberg a lot, very, very reliable. We use Reuters. So it's quite a lot, really.
Okay,
and then there's MoneyWeb if you want to keep track of the stocks.
But you also have to have the brain to be able to evaluate information, and for you to be able to evaluate and determine which one. Yeah.
That happens with time. You get what I'm saying?
Also, you get used to it.
You do get used to it. Yeah. By the time you start with the first paragraph, you know exactly what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
But it takes time. Yeah, so I've been doing this for about...
So it means there's some type of routine. If there's a war somewhere, this is how we will be affected.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly, yeah. But, it's not always... Well, you learn every day with equities and, trading and whatnot. You learn every day. As much as, with the war in Russia, it pushed oil price and, resources went up and all that,
Yeah.
But, yes, you would expect that. But it's not like in all... it's not like it will happen like that every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
what's expected.
Yeah.
But there's still surprises, shocks and economic shocks. You know about that,
So what would you say to a child who's in Taung or who is maybe at Ivory here, and they really want to do this, but they feel like they're not intelligent enough, or they're not good enough for the post? What would you say to them?
Well, like I said, I think intelligence doesn't... Well, it does play a role, but I think with success and being where you want to be, I don't think it actually plays a huge role. I don't know. You might have a different view.
Yeah.
I think for me, the most important thing is, like I said, discipline.
Discipline and determination.
Awesome. You need to keep your eyes on the price, right? You need to know what you want and work hard for it.
Yeah.
I think, let me rather say, instead of intelligence, let me rather say hard work, discipline, and intelligence, you know. I mean, and
determination.
So I think those are the three for me. I don't know. I don't know if intelligence actually... Well, I guess a percentage of it can take you to your destination.
Do you love what you do?
Yes, I do, definitely.
Awesome. Yeah, it reflects that you do. The way you answer that question. So, do you see yourself in stockbroking for the rest of your life, or?
Well, in financial markets, yes, for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind being in stockbroking, but I mean, I think that there's room to grow.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot to do in financial market. You can move into portfolio management.
Yeah.
You can move into research as in analysis.
Yeah.
You can move into business development. So that's basically...
So basically what you're saying is there's a lot of opportunities.
There's actually a lot to do in a stockbroking house.
Great.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think that there's not a lot of opportunities, but as you're suggesting that there's a lot of opportunities. And I feel like people think there's not a lot of opportunities because they don't have the right information. So if they can get the right information from people like yourself and work towards that, they will be exposed to a whole lot of opportunities.
Yeah, I think so. I think the best thing is to be in the system, as in to be in the industry, and obviously you will know about all these things.
Do you have to be networking with other people, or what? Do you have a whole lot of network?
Yeah. You have to do the networking.
Yeah.
I think networking is very important in every industry.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so, I think you need to do a lot of networking. Because with my first job, yes, I got the advert. I actually got it from someone who was already in the industry. So, I mean, it has a lot to do with networking. Even when you are in, you still have to continue networking for you to get to where you want to be, you know. But also with trading, there isn't a lot of positions open for trading, you know. And I'll tell you why. It's because people seem to stay longer on the jobs. And also, in order for you to get in, there's quite a lot that you need to do. Like I told you, you need to get those exams, right?
What do you think of Forex? Because a lot of people are saying you need to join Forex. Just get a laptop
and trade,
and you will be able to make money.
Yeah, that's with Forex. First of all, I think the big risk there is that people don't understand economics. Forex has a lot to do with economics.
Yeah.
Remember, it's currency. You are basically trading a currency.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a lot of luck for the ones that succeed in it.
Yeah.
And they don't know the underlying issues.
They don't have the right formula.
So it's yes. So that's very risky. You know.
Yeah.
So you need to understand what makes the currency stronger, what makes it weaker, what could make South African currency stronger, what could make American currency stronger, and you trade on the underlying, you know.
Yeah.
So basically that's what Forex is, you know. It's not about, I don't know, people make it to be, you know, I don't know, this.
It's fancy. Well, the idea behind Forex is people show this life that everybody dreams of, and they say Forex made me to be like this. So that's how they are able to pull a whole lot of crowd. So I just wanted to find out if it is different from what you are doing. Is Forex different from what you're doing?
I think it's the same, right?
Yeah.
But sure, how do I put it? It's the same, but I think the people who are deceiving people out there and, you know, taking their money and whatnot, they are taking chances. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah.
You cannot be a good Forex trader if you don't understand the economics of countries.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I said, you are trading a currency.
Yeah.
You need to know if a GDP figure comes out and it's weaker than what most people expected, most investors expected, how will that impact the currency? You get what I'm saying?
Beautiful. So my follow-up question is, do you have a whole lot of professionals who are trading stock who are also doing Forex?
Yeah, you can actually, when you are an equity trader, when you're a stock trader, you can trade Forex, you know, but in my current role, I'm not.
Yeah.
But you can, yes, and there are legitimate houses who can do that for you, like your F&B, they can do that for you if you don't really understand it. So for someone who wants to obviously trade Forex, I wouldn't advise it if it's not a legitimate, you know, a legitimate house. And I know there's a lot of apps, you know, that trade Forex and unfortunately you wouldn't know if they are legitimate or not.
Okay.
Am I making sense?
You're making a whole lot of sense.
So the best way to go about it, I would say, do it with a bank.
Yeah.
If you think, obviously, I mean, banks charge a lot, you know, so sometimes maybe if you want to cut the cost and do it on the app easily, so I guess, I don't know, get a recommendation from someone on the app, whether it's, you know, it's the best one to use, blah, blah, blah. But the most important thing is to understand why a currency moves in a particular way.
Awesome. In closing, are you looking to go back to Daung and give back some more, maybe do some more groundwork?
Yes. Regarding my career or just in general?
No, in general.
Yes, there's quite a lot that I would like to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm at a point to disclose my plans.
Okay. No, it's great. I just wanted to find out if you still have intentions of going back.
Yeah, definitely.
And
not
helping
to
out.
Stay.
Yeah, to help
not
out.
To stay, to help out and to see how I can give back to my community.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Lorato.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks.